we are alive.
Do you like our costumes?
It's looking like a wedding. What if it's not a wedding? We'll be so
I'll be
embarrassed.
devastated.
We actually don't know how this book is going to end.
What's
we just
that?
know that
Little
it must.
tiramisu.
Oh.
Little susu for the live stream.
You're tearing me a sue, Lisa.
Oh, guys, it is a pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much for joining us on what I hope will be the last chapter of Adam's story.
Of Adam's story, yes. Will we do another Jack Whalen standalone book after this? You tell us.
Oh, I was going to get a little drink. Yeah.
Oh, isn't that your glass?
Yes.
Okay. We've got a little Sauv Blanc for the occasion.
I don't always
Where did
drink.
the 20 people waiting go? Is it like it notifies them?
Did they vanish?
Did they all vanish? Have we linked the right one? Because we accidentally made 2.
Maybe more.
Maybe more. I'm literally stopped working on my dissertation proposal. Is your dissertation on Jack Whalen fiction through the 90s and early 2000s?
Honestly, I feel like we could do such a cultural analysis.
Absolutely.
Just through the lens of Adam's story.
Okay, how do I find this live?
Well,
sorry for the slow start as ever.
We've been having some technical difficulties. We don't have an actual computer between the two of us, and sometimes...
Yeah, so thank you to our most generous donors.
Yeah, y'all are really holding this sinking ship up.
And buying a working computer between us isn't even the next financial goal. It's like 4 away.
No, I gotta get my vasectomy.
I love how many people have been bringing up clumsy monster in messages to me.
Oh, I hope I don't become a clumsy monster.
Okay, I'm just checking that we're on the right live stream. I'm really scared we won't be.
The whole gang's here, all 15 of us.
Okay, yeah, we are. Look,
Yeah.
wait, are we the right way up?
People are just...
Okay, I think we're good.
Y'all know what to do, right? We got us in the chats
I guess
here.
I wanted to have. Well, I'm assuming there won't really be super chats because they're already our donors. Unless
Y'all
you guys.
are awesome. If you want a super chat, go for it. I won't say no, but I don't expect that.
I wonder
of
if you can on unlisted videos.
You've already done so much. You know what? First one to our patrons.
So it looks like it's that way if
What the
you're viewing
heck?
the video.
Are we sideways on you guys?
It's like not sideways if you have your phone like that.
So you have to watch it landscape?
I'm not sure. Let me just.
Does anyone have any orientation issues?
Yeah,
I'm
are we all
talking
good
video,
on
not,
orientation?
we all got those.
Thank you for saying we look dashing.
Thank you. We're about to dash.
So how can we have the comments
Very
come up?
sideways. So do we have to just be doing it right ways?
No, because we did it last time.
This is crazy.
Hang on.
Oh, does the lock have to be off?
What happens now? Orientation is locked, but
Maybe
it's
we have
not.
to start it not... Didn't we do this last time?
Look,
Do you have to start the thing? Oh my god.
you're saying we do this?
No, start it unlocked.
Start it unlocked.
Yes.
I thought we just tried that.
We started it locked.
It just says that no matter what.
Well, I mean the whole thing. Because it might be stuck in that because you started it with lock.
You mean start the live stream?
Yeah.
No.
Would that be crazy?
Oh, see, that's working now.
Y'all, this is...
This is a nightmare. You deserve better than this on the finale, and we're so sorry. But what the hell is going on? If you put lock or not, it says device orientation is locked. So I don't know what to do.
Let's
Also,
just...
how do we see the comments? This is horrible!
Who wants to be a technician? We could hang out every Tuesday. Well, I know what'll fix this.
It's confusing because it just switched around. And also, why can't we see the comments on the stream right now?
Comments.
Oh no.
We might have to have it on a bigger device. I feel like it comes up on my...
Should
We've
we...
seen it on live streams before.
Joining you from Eastbound. Someone called Jimmy, yes, seriously. Should we just try and make it work this way?
Ooh, I think... slapstick chaos. Oh no.
It is.
Oh.
Also, Also,
This
our
is a
lighting
metaphor.
isn't flattering.
You know what?
Should we just try and do the whole stream like this? Who's in favor of that?
I think this is sideways on mine now. Are we sideways now or not? Yeah, we better call Jimmy. Y'all, what is it looking like for you right this second? Please weigh in the
Please,
chats.
somebody comment. We can tell.
I'm looking, when it's in
This is what
When
we're
it's in
seeing.
hamburger style?
This is better than sideways, someone said.
Okay.
Okay, so we just stay like this until...
Oh, alright. Here we are. We're doing hamburger style, I guess.
No! You are right way around. But last week when we did the live stream, you walked off into the back and we could see that.
Yep, you know?
Only problem is you can't... Well, we can see comments now. Oh, God. Why does this feel like just a metaphor?
You know, you set off thinking you'll have one set of experiences, and then you find that the story that ended up becoming your story is way different than you would have initially imagined for yourself. Like maybe you initially thought you were a wretched porn addict. Are we going, what are we doing?
Don't you think we should be this way? Sorry. That's what we did last week.
All right, everyone has to watch this in landscape
full
or
stream.
else.
Like, I think it is fine.
Okay.
But then it... But then it says orientation is locked, rotation. It literally won't let us.
Is it locked right now?
It doesn't matter whether it's locked or not. It says that. Whether or not...
Okay, well...
Okay, back to this, I guess. God damn it. If this wasn't the finale... Yeah, we do have here a plate of vegan tiramisu, thanks to Vertical Diner in Salt Lake for unofficially sponsoring this.
Now, just because it's vegan doesn't... Well, actually, it is more in alignment with the word of wisdom. I was going to say it's still evil because of the caffeine, but because it has used... This tiramisu was not made with meat, so...
Well, I can't wait to be so cozy with each other throughout this live stream.
Oh, we've got so close through the course of Adam's story. All right,
Cheers.
y'all.
Tell us what you're eating or drinking. We can see your comments now.
We can actually see you, and boy, is it fascinating.
Oh my god. That's
Wow.
definitely breaking the word of wisdom with how good that is.
Wow, I can't believe they left they left this for Mormonism.
Such an unflattering angle. It just is.
Oh yeah,
what
my
it is.
hair is having a day. Not how
My
I want to
lip
look
colour
at a
looked
wedding.
really cute with the way we did our lighting last week, but now looks terrible. I feel like we put that there last week, and it looked a lot better.
It's possible. Can we just, you guys. I don't know, Sam. Now we're shadowy on this side. Macaroni with chicken, not tiramisu, not vegan. Macamasu. You ever had one of those? Yummy. What are y'all's predictions for what's going to happen? Are they going to get married or...
It's been so confusing whether we're in a love story or not. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can't tell.
I can't tell either. He could actually just decide not to marry her. Someone says they have a sativa edible coming up, so...
Oh, yeah. Let us know when it hits.
Yeehaw!
Okay, I don't really think that changed anything. I think this is just how it's going to be.
Yep.
I hate it though. It's such an aggressive focus on this area of my body.
Good thing I wore my cummerbund. I was like, they're not even going to see it, but I have it on.
Just learned today what a cummerbund is. Can't believe that's a real word. Have you showed them?
Yeah, you know.
It's like a ribbed sash.
Yeah. I don't know if you normally wear it with a vest like this, but I don't have a black belt. So.
Oh, this is so annoying, this orientation thing. I'm so annoyed.
Wow, you sound like Holland at me. This orientation thing.
Finale day!
Well, I feel like the book is going to leave us just like this. A lot of hype and a lot of disappointment. It's the Jack way. We've done enough Jack to know this.
Jack is my natural high. This has been the least romantic love story ever. I know. And which does feel in line with Mormonism's ideas of what, like, great love stories are, you know? I remember when she had the vision of Adam ripping up the marriage. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Has Jack
Good
successfully
memory.
done foreshadowing?
He could, no. He could never call back to anything besides the movie that was made in his
The
honor.
movie version of the book. Okay.
I didn't realize till I got here that I should have dressed up as Ghost Charlie, because I totally have everything for it.
In my mind, I sort of did. Like, I feel like this is what Charlie, who didn't join Mormonism, would wear to her wedding. You know?
Yeah.
Something a bit more feminist, philosophy student, but then she became an art student and a Mormon in the movie.
Do you think Charlie was a member of the Sisterhood from Liberty Adams? Do y'all crossover view? Are
Do
you
you guys
watching
ever
her
fuck
other
with
stuff?
our worst series?
Did you know that we have a whole
we-
public channel?
We have a different worst series on our public channel that nobody's watching.
But those who are appreciate it, and
Yeah, and
that includes
who
me.
needs a computer anyway? Okay, who's ready? Are we going?
We're doing this.
I have a vivid memory from when I was very young, maybe 4 or 5, of sitting on the floor with a new set of building blocks on Christmas Day, putting together a fort by stacking one block on top of another. I remember choosing each block carefully and making sure the stacks were straight and neat. That was how I felt about what I was doing while staying with Julia and Catherine. Oh yeah, he's with the old ladies at the lazy sleepy beach town.
That's right.
And I
Where
think
he
there's going to
started
be a
anew.
murder. I was starting from scratch to define who I was and what I was going to be in the future. He is learning about himself through old ladies by the beach.
We've all done it.
We've all been there.
Someone said under the watchful eye of Paddington.
Always.
He is the Holy Ghost of this channel. There's
Did
no
you
doubt
see I
about
have a
it.
new Paddington picture there that Lola gave me?
Oh,
I'm like
that's so
two Paddingtons in one
sweet.
room. Now and that Paddington thing you gave me, I'm like becoming that person.
You're becoming the Paddington.
When you go to an old person's house and you're like, why are there so many rooster themed things here? Now I realize they probably collected them over the years because people were just like, oh, she loves that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's gonna be me.
Jars
Yours-
of marmalade.
I just need you to
everywhere.
like stop me when it gets too much. I need to know that you'll do that, and I'm scared that you won't.
No, I'm hoping that your house turns into a padding museum when you die.
Ugh, okay. What would I adopt into my new life? So maybe he is just saying goodbye to Lara, even though she's done nothing wrong. I'm gonna be that
Hanging
way
out with a group
frogs.
of old lesbians will change you and your ideas about romance and life and...
Jack would never write lesbians, Tanner.
Ladies and Charlie's first exist in the same universe due to self. It's true.
Which isn't right, but also is. I could choose anything I wanted because nobody in Spring Lake really knew anything about me. I could become whoever I wanted to become.
A lawyer.
A clone at the gym. I had, in some ways at least, severed all connections to family and friends. It's sounding healthy. It's sounding like the path to true knowledge.
Because you-
Personal insight. What's it called?
Self-knowledge.
Self-knowledge.
Because your mom, who is dead, had sex before she was a
It's my
member
fault.
of the church. That one's mine.
Yeah, the reason you ran away is because you were so disturbed by your... And also, I'm guessing he's not going to choose whether he wants to have Mormonism in his life or these rigid dating standards.
No,
or...
it's just pure avoidance. This is great. I love it.
Also, I bet he's not going to become anything cool. He's like, I could become whoever I want to be. He's just going to become the,
The
same
same
boring,
guy.
slightly different job version of himself. And it's like...
The burden of having a smoking hot mom.
It's also just Jack probably living out his fantasy of like, oh, no responsibilities, just go and be a hand. I feel like this whole book has been him exploring how much he just wishes he could be a handyman, work with his hands, get out of that physics brain.
Yeah, have a wholesome, honest life.
I was on my own, and everything from the past was on the chopping block. It turns out I wasn't the first to have stayed in the cottage for an extended period of time. Are we about to have a ghost story? Julia told me about Mr. Appleton. He had stayed there for almost a year before one day disappearing, never to be heard from again.
Mr. Appleton!
So Adam's son and Sermon's the grandfather they think is the epitome of a gentleman. No, that's just too disturbing to imagine with how often they reference the granddad.
I'm actually dressed like Mr. Appleton. That was the costume I was going for today.
Sorry, I really shouldn't have taken a bite.
Just savor it.
We've kept... My lipstick is really giving mum. It's like... Wearing lip liner just makes me feel like a An old mother.
Smoking hot mom who could have
Like a
landed
MILF,
Mark.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking book or movie Mark. I'm talking bookmark.
We've kept all his things in the garage, Catherine said. How long has he been gone? Almost 2 years now, she said. I think we should toss his things, Julia said. We're not a storage dump. We need to be able to use our garage. Will you go through Mr. Appleton's things and throw out everything you think he won't care about if he shows up someday and asks where his things are? Quite the call for such an emotionally unavailable man to have to make.
Very specific task.
Also, everything in his life is on the chopping block, and now everything in Mr. Appleton's life... Is Jack doing this on purpose? Everything in Mr. Appleton's life is on the chopping block through his possessions. Did Jack do a literary?
He did a literary.
I started right away. The first thing I did was haul all his boxes from the garage into the cottage.
What if he finds out that Mr. Appleton was his dad, living 2 lives?
Or him.
And
he's
from
had
the
amnesia
future.
for 2 years and nothing in this book happened. It's like a Dallas situation.
It was all a dream.
I picked a box and began going through it. In the first box, I found a framed picture of Mr. Appleton. He was of slight build, wore a moustache, combed all over his bald spot on top with hair from the sides, and in the picture was wearing a bow tie. What kind of man was he? I asked Julia at lunch. He was a quiet man, she said. He didn't talk to many people and stayed in his room most of the time. Once in a while, we'd see him on the beach. He'd always wear a white shirt with his swimming suit.
Sorry, this comment.
What if
I
he
want to
went
go
no
to a
themed
themed restaurant, so...
He never went swimming, though. Mostly he just sat on a towel and watched everyone else. I returned to my work. A few minutes later, I came across a cardboard box that had been taped shut, whereas the others had just been closed by interlocking the flaps.
He finds a letter that's like, if you ever find out your ghost mom was a slut, don't sweat it, man. I don't know who this might help. I just feel inspired.
It was a shock. See, oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
What?
I'm so excited. Oh my god! I undid the tape and opened the box and saw that it was filled with pornographic videos.
No! Return of the
coming back to the
porn! Oh my god, everything is on the table. He could walk away. He could become a porn addict.
This could be a devastating ending.
Damn it, I should have said the thing earlier, which I was going to say, how much you want to, or what are the chances that he actually just turns to porn forever?
Well, and then that's the end of the story. I just can't imagine
Jack would never let porn win. Not on Jack's watch.
Wait, unless Jack does, like,
Love
want to
porn.
tell it... No.
This is his jack off.
Oh, yes, but no. Unless he does want to tell a cautionary tale. Because that's what he hadn't done yet.
Oh. Is he trying to warn us? He first gets into porn and then he's like, after I got done abusing myself, there was I found a heroin needle and then I was like, what's stopping me from doing heroin? And then he steals a gun from a cop.
Okay, yesterday I interviewed the Tomsters from Woman Stories, and at one point we were talking about porn and how Tom growing up, it's like he got mixed messaging from the church of like, Jesus forgives everything, the atonement covers everything, but then also in young men's he would kind of hear like, the minute you view porn, it's over for you, and it's such a slippery slope. Anyway, so I like brought up this series and the Patreon in the episode, and I was like, I don't think I made that relevant enough to bring it up, but I was just like, for the 5 people watching who are on our Patreon, I'm like, I didn't communicate well enough, like how good this book is at showing. Anyway, when you see the episode, you'll see. But
Sam, thank you for hustling for us on Mormon Stories.
It was a shock seeing them. My first impulse was to watch them.
To watch wait, are they movies? Is that what he said?
Pornographic videos.
Oh, videos. He's found a stack of VHSs. I can only imagine what those titles were. Because, like, how did he know they were porn?
In the early 2000s.
They had sleeves.
Just
or was it
boobs on the
DVDs?
cover. Videos. VHSs, yeah. They probably did have sleeves.
Oh, yeah, he says tape.
There was a TV and videotape player in the cottage. I could have locked the doors and viewed them right then, or done so late at night.
Mr. Appleton.
Also, do you think that porn is the reason he disappeared?
He was like, I gotta start a new life. I'm gonna go work for Sam's grandpa.
I think Mormons do worry that they'll find boxes of porn everywhere. I think they have the mindset of like, the minute you view anything, because it probably is true a lot of the time if you're so sexually repressed, the minute you get a glimpse of sexuality, it's like, ugh.
Well, that's why they're like, everyone has to cover their ankles, shoulders, knees, and toes, lest I see anything that could remind me that I'm a sexual being.
But then I thought about Mr. Appleton.
This is a minefield. He might want those for sentimental reasons.
Maybe he's in them. I looked at his picture again and imagined him in some tiny apartment, all by himself, with the blinds pulled,
yanking it.
going through the same pathetic routine, day in, day out, for the rest of his life. How do you know he watched them day in, day
He
out?
just all day, every day.
But that's the only way Adam can, like,
My dream
conceive
job.
of porn. You watch them, then you die.
It's like The Ring.
It's like, maybe if he, you know, if someone owns videos, then that tells me maybe they have a bit of a healthier relationship. Maybe he does. Maybe he just watches them occasionally.
That means he is paying to support creators, and just like y'all,
Just
is
like
a
you
good
guys.
human.
And when he died, who would mourn him? Who would care that he lived or died because he watched porn?
An army of sluts.
Also, it's like, like we were joking, but when we were like, oh, I just lost my trail of thought. But you know when Charlie died, and then suddenly it was like, I can't even like honor. It doesn't even feel good to think about my dead mum anymore because she was such a slut.
She was such a slut. No one to mourn her.
No children to mourn him, no wife to miss him, no loved ones or friends to talk about his contribution to their lives. I love how this is all just about the porn film, when like probably all of this is a symptom of a bigger thing. That's not who I am, I thought.
I'm not Mr. I'm so different than
Because
Mr. Appleton.
people who watch porn are that character of Mr. Appleton, and then there's the rest of us.
Porn watchers do not have good lives. They do not have people to mourn them.
And they always go missing.
They do not have families, and they just up and go missing.
Can't trust him.
Probably on a porn bender.
Probably died doing porn. This is not who I am, I thought. Not now and not ever. Well, it was who you were, because like you were yanking it every single day.
Yeah.
I carried the box outside, went to the garage, grabbed an axe, returned to the box, and smashed every video into pieces.
Dramatic much? He's like, hey man, those are vintage. Those are collectibles. I don't even watch porn.
Then I stuffed the remnants into trash bags and dumped the bags into garbage cans that would be picked up in the morning.
He chopped up a bunch of porn, VHS porn with an axe. Somebody else's with an axe.
As I was chopping them up, I felt a sense of power. That checks out, doesn't it? It
It's
felt
like I
good.
found it oddly erotic. I've never felt
It
this
felt
way.
good to have faced an old temptation and to have come away victorious. That was the first characteristic I chose for the new me. I would not become a slave to a terrible addiction.
What do you mean the new you?
It's just that easy. You just choose to not be a slave to addiction. People who are addicts are just choosing to be slaves. Saturday night, a new challenge arose, and that was whether or not I would go to church in the morning. The question that came to my mind was, is the only reason I go to church because of my mum and dad? Did I serve a mission only because I was told that's what I should do? Jack's psyche. Did I live the word of wisdom only because of my family? And if that is so, then if I separate myself from my family, do I end my involvement in the church? The answer should have been obvious, but in my state of mind, it wasn't clear to me.
Why is any of this happening? Why?
Because a year and a half ago, we made the decision to watch Charlie.
Oh my god.
Julia asked me what I would be doing on Sunday. I said I didn't know.
I like to believe this is a Schrodinger's box situation where this book didn't actually exist until we started reading it.
You could come to church with us. Why do you go to church? Because we believe in God, don't you? I feel like that isn't a comprehensive answer of why you go to church. Oh, also, did you hear, I think it was Elder Holland or someone at conference talked about how people will be like, well, can't I find God in nature? No, you have to go to church on Sundays.
You have to go to the unnatural places.
It's
to
clear
find
that
God.
nature is becoming like the biggest competitor of the church.
Oh yeah.
I had to think about it.
Especially during COVID.
Yeah. I guess I do. Then you should go to church. It seemed like a good argument. You believe in God, so you should come to church with us.
Yeah.
So I changed my mind and decided to go to the church. Oh, do you think they're going to go to like a Christian one and then he's going to be like, it just didn't feel the same?
It didn't feel the same.
Like
When things don't match my programmed conditioning, I have a
Nightmare.
hard time
By going to the library and checking phone directories, I found that the nearest ward, oh okay, so he's going to his own, was in North Brunswick. I called and learned from a recorded message when the meetings were held. And so I went to church. People there seemed happy to see me. A counsellor in the bishopric asked me how long I'd be in the ward.
It's called love bombing.
I'm not sure. Maybe for a long time. We could use your help, he said. Thanks. I'm glad somebody can. He's in his utils era, where he's just nothing but useful to everyone in his life.
A little this way.
The next week, I again tried to reconstruct myself from scratch. In a way, it was an is that the end of the Mr. Appleton things? I was looking forward to, like, learning bits and pieces about the life of a man who disappeared. I feel like that's a fun literary thing to explore. No, just an axe to the pornos.
He's gone.
Literally reducing a dead man, presumably, to his old pornos.
Maybe he left his life behind too, and Adam is just finishing the job.
Yeah, finishing what Mr. Appleton started. In a way, it was an exciting
That's actually the title of one of the movies.
Deciding what would be the foundation of my life and what I would discard.
He's getting self-knowledge. He didn't have to pay for a retreat. He just had to go totally unhinged.
I know. The pacing of this book really is. Also, why do the comments only come up for such a short period of time? It's bugging me.
They're keeping us on our toes.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, nice.
Yay, now all the messages are there. Cool. I began praying and reading the scriptures again. Whoa. Not because
it's been
I was
a whole
supposed
24
to.
hours.
Not because I was supposed to, not because I'd been told to do it. I mean, potato. But because I needed the comfort I'd always found in prayer and scripture reading.
That I had been told to find in prayer and...
After 2 weeks, I'd pretty much, like, everything in Mormonism hinges on not knowing anything about psychology, I swear to God.
I hate this because this is so typical of the Mormon, like, I'll never go back to my old ways. I have been changed by the gospel of Jesus Christ. And it's like, changed from what? And it's like, well, the version of me that just wasn't quite as intensely feeling about it. Like, you've always done the exact same
It's like, yeah, that's what happens
things.
when you grow up in a religion. At some point, you, like, become more intense about it of your own accord. After 2 weeks, I'd pretty much fixed everything that Julia and her friends had for me. But by then, word had gotten around about a new fix-it man in town.
Oh, Mr.
I began
Fix-It.
to charge for the work I did. Hell yeah! Go boss! Get paid. Not much at first, though. I was just glad to be considered useful. Julia would only let me work for someone she approved. She said she was worried about people who might take advantage of my willingness to help. But
he's gonna find himself in a Mr. Fix-It porn. He's gonna show up to someone's house and she's gonna be like, hey, what else can you do with those handy hands?
But Julia also had a higher criterion. There had to be an overriding reason other than saving money why I would work for someone. I feel like that's not Julia's call to make. Like, I'm only going to let you go fix it for someone if
you feel spiritually inspired to do this.
One day, just as we were about to eat dinner...
Honestly, that's my argument that I've always had with every boss, is I don't actually feel spiritually aligned with that task. We're going to just each take a little break for no reason. Just need to, get a breath of fresh
and
air.
The other one will practice their type 3 set in the meantime.
All right, here's my comedy set that I've been working on. So one time, I was in this woman, and I came prematurely. And later,
every male stand-up.
and later when we were talking about it, I was like, hey, I'm so sorry, I'm so embarrassed. And she was like, no, it's actually pretty common. And I said, but Mom.
Ew. Oh, okay.
I feel like I ruined your anniversary. And she said, no, you didn't ruin my anniversary, but can you please stop referring to your birth as the time you were in that woman?
What did I just see that on?
That was me telling you my bit. It was like...
Yeah, but when did I hear that before? Did you just tell me at a different time?
I've told you a different time, yeah.
Okay.
All right, it's my turn for a breath of fresh air. I hope you all laughed hysterically and clapped your little hands red.
Oh, God.
All right, Sam.
I don't have a type 3 because the other day I found an old iPad and I want to be able to watch YouTube on it. But to update my iPad, I had to delete all the data off of it. So I basically wiped my iPad clean. For some reason, that deleted just my notes, nothing else. My notes app
That would be
everywhere.
devastating.
I really freaked out, and I found out right before I was about to go live on Woman Stories yesterday, and I was like, compartmentalize.
Devastating.
Yeah, so like all my client notes, all my terrible poetry, every song I've started, everything is like in my notes app. No longer. Pretty devastating.
That's just a whole psychological fresh start.
I know. I'm like, what if I'm gonna like. I have a friend who like might be able to help me get it back. It seems like they're not going to be recoverable, but I'm just like, but if they're not, what can I do? It feels like a thing where I have no control, so I just have to let go. There's no point, like, I almost feel like a weird piece about it. Little orphan Tanny should tell jokes on the street and beckon people to toss coins.
Please, sir, toss me a farthing. Your mum's a cunt.
He can say that. He's an orphan.
He doesn't have a mum. How can he respect women? He can say that. This tiramisu is so good. Is there coffee in it? Because I would love some energy.
I hope not. I don't like to break the word of wisdom in more than one way at a time.
What would the other way be? Isn't that the whole thing with tiramisu, is that it has
Well,
coffee?
I am drinking,
Right, yeah. Yeah.
but not doing any other
Yeah.
substance illicit. Or
Would you rather have no mum or a slutty mum who has premarital sex?
No, Mom.
No mum?
Final answer.
Yeah.
That's what Dan Bench
Because then at
asked
least I could
BYU
respect
students.
myself. That's such a good one. Would you rather have no mum or a slutty mum who had premarital sex?
Same thing.
That's really good.
Same thing. Are you tapping in?
Yeah.
Well, we can't leave them. Hey guys. All right, here's my next set. 3 mums. 3 mums vodka. Got your real mom, first real mom, second, the worst mom. He hasn't kept in touch with them at all, has he? He just like ditched them. Should I read one?
No, I'm back.
All right.
Sorry about that.
Mummy needs her
Trinity of
medicine.
mums. It's so annoying. I wish this had been like a main channel series because like I would love to make so much different funny merch, but it's just like such a small audience. But it's annoying because it's like the best series ever and our MAGA series is just okay.
I think our MAGA series is fun too. But
It
Jack,
is, it
we
is.
just love Jack, you know.
Jack gives us so much.
Uh-huh.
Liberty gives us a lot less.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's earning money now. That's good. I'm glad he's not, just doing stuff for free. One day, just as we were about to eat dinner, the phone rang. Also, is he just like the son Julia never had now? Is that just the vibe? Is he? This is Julia's the third mum.
Yeah.
In the Trinity of mums.
He's like my number 3 fake mom.
He only knows how to go from mum to mum to mum, and he thinks he's like out there on his own. But it sounds like Julia has a pretty heavy hand on the work that you do.
Absolutely.
Because she won't let him do it if there's not a good reason. She's making him go to church. So it sounds like wrestling between mum 1 and mum 2 became too much. So he's moved on to mum 3.
Yep. She is filling the mom-shaped heart in his heart.
And she doesn't
Hole
ask
in
as
his
much.
heart.
She's more simple. Jack loves a simple character.
Oh yeah. Especially a simple woman. He's like, did I
It's an
mention she was
oxymoron.
never a philosophy student?
Wait, is an oxymoron where you say the same thing twice? Like it's like redundant?
It's
What's the word for when something's-
contradictory.
Oh, so what's the word for, like saying a simplified woman? You're saying it's the same.
A simplified woman?
What's the word for when you say basically the same
Reductive.
thing in 2 different words?
Oh,
So it's like redundant.
Yeah, redundant.
You're redundant, okay.
The redundant mom.
So I'm
That's
really
my-
embarrassed I forgot what an oxymoron is for a moment. But you
know
leave
what?
college, things
We did
get
just have
hazy.
that breath of fresh air.
Yeah, good point. She listened. Oh, sorry, the phone rang. Julia picked it up. Yes, he's here. Why do you ask? She listened. All right, I'll ask him if he'd like to help you. Julia turned to me. This is a couple who teach school in town. They've got a leaking pipe. They just got home and there's an inch of water in the bathroom and they can't stop it. Get their address. I'll go right over, I said. Their names were Derek and Elizabeth Conroy, and they were standing at the front door of their house waiting for me.
More names than most of Jack's main female
I know.
characters.
I'm like, it's so random when he chooses to flesh it out. I think that every time, but I'm like, I can't comment on it every time. But every time someone random gets a name, I'm like,
A full name.
Justice for Charlie's mother.
Yep. Whose name we cannot possibly
What was her name?
remember. I don't know.
We did learn it at one point, but we forgot.
Lisa.
Blah, blah, blah. I immediately liked them. In spite of the emergency, they were able to joke about it as they escorted me into the bathroom. The bathroom floor was covered with water, and there was a dark patch of soaked carpet several feet into the hall. They were an energetic couple in their early 30s. Oh my god, is he going to join a throuple?
Ooh, that could be fun.
Derek was nearly bald and had a beard. You can tell that Jack thinks about the amount of hair men have a lot, because men are always described as bald or nearly bald or thick head. It's always like he's very aware of how much hair men have, which checks out with my experience watching my dad go bald. You know, it's like a woman with aging. There's just, you focus on things a lot that you are worried about.
It's something we're sensitive about. Fellas.
He wore slacks and a turtleneck. Elizabeth had short hair and a pixie face. With her energy and enthusiasm, she reminded me of someone who'd play Peter Pan on stage. Okay, so Ash. Getting Tanner's partner vibes from this character. I checked the pipes under the sink, but they weren't leaking. I turned off the water to the bathroom. Do you have a mop? Let's get rid of the water on the floor first. What do you think caused this? Derek asked. There's just a bunch of water on their floor and they don't know what caused it.
It's all black and we've been hearing violins playing in the distance. It's all kind of spooky.
Someone keeps screaming, I'm coming from the closet, but when we open it, no one's there. I'll tell you in a minute, I said. Are you hungry? Elizabeth asked. We're having shish kebabs. I can put one on for you. I want to live in the Jack Wayland universe where you, as a handyman, just go over to someone's apartment and they offer you a full spread.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
In every other
No one
one's
respects
universe,
people
you go to
that well.
someone's house as a plumber and you get dick down.
When the maintenance guy comes over to fix something here, I just kind of hover hiding in the other room, and then when I hear that he might be done, I sort of wander by.
You don't offer him kebabs?
No, but my mum is actually...
These are the change you want to see in the world. Offer the handyman kebabs.
I agree with you. And Bodders, one thing about my mum, who I am currently in a fight with, just fun.
Let the record show.
Sure. No, it's fine. Just a weird day family drama, you know. But my mum always makes builders like cups of tea and biscuits, and she'll put on a little spread for them.
Will do
But
anything
I
for a
think people in
conversation with a
England
stranger.
do offer builders cups of tea. It's like, do you want a cuppa? Do you want me to put the kettle on to your coffee? That's just like everywhere you go in England.
You know, that's a Mormon value too. There are stories of Mormon prophets.
I like that. I
being
think
like,
it's good to
I'll
have
take
little
some
rituals
lemonade
like that.
to the.
Yeah. Because I think the thing with tea or coffee is like everyone always wants a caffeine boost. Most people. So it's like, it's just a small, simple thing you can do. That like, and I think the world is like a healthier place when we do things like that and we like engage with people that are strangers and probably so different from us and in a different social class to us.
There was this woman in my ward who once took a cup of donuts because she saw that he had been sitting at this place for a long time, you know, scoping people out. She's like, I should go take donuts to the cops. So she
The
takes
cop
some-
shot her.
No, it was a dummy.
Oh. Well,
And if that ain't
donuts to the cops, huh?
Yep.
Okay, so he said, no thanks, I'm fine. I'm putting one on for you anyway. That has Bodders energy as well. He doesn't want a shish kebab, I'm making him one.
You'll have a kebab.
Fuck your allergies. I suspected the wax seal at the bottom of the toilet had cracked and began to leak. With the water turned off at its source, I flushed the toilet to empty the bowl and tank, then loosened the mounts and lifted the toilet off its base and set it off to one side on the bathroom floor. I think Jack's quite good with like household stuff because he is a physics teacher.
He always talks about it.
Yeah.
I can't believe that I'm sharing a kebab with the most beautiful man I have ever seen with a kebab.
What's that from again?
That's Flight of the Conchords. That was for Alex, if you're still watching.
Are you a certified plumber? Derek asked. No, but I do this all the time. I'm sure you do, but I can't really figure out what you're doing moving the toilet. Derek, quit harassing the nice man and come and eat, Elizabeth called from the kitchen. She's right, sir, I said. Don't worry, I know what I'm doing. Well, all right. Reluctantly, he went and joined his wife. I think he's going to flood the toilet a la Paddington 2.
Yes. I just got a flash, an image of Sam's grandfather in his hands, like wringing his hands, just like, my boy, my sweet boy, where's my boy?
Oh my god, I just remembered how traumatic this has to be for Eddie and Claire. Who just had him come back in their life. They have fucking trauma from Charlie disappearing forever.
He turned
They
them into
lost
Mormons and then bounced.
Oh my god, you're so right. I can't believe I haven't thought about this.
Yeah.
This is horrible for them.
Terrible.
Oh, I hope that... I just am worried that Jack won't make it right. Like, Adam
Jack
will
will
just,
not make it
Adam will
right.
just figure out what it is on his end, and then
Yeah.
just everyone else will just fall back in line with his desires, rather than him apologizing or...
Absolutely.
Oh know. And also poor Laura. Like, if some guy did this to me when we were nearly engaged, oh my god.
Hopefully she's like, oh yeah, this is a sign. I need to get the fuck out of here.
He called you sir, didn't he? Elizabeth teased. You're getting to be so grown up. I loved the way she laughed.
Loving the way a married woman laughs.
That is...
I think there's something in the handbook about that.
I discovered I'd been right. The wax seal was cracked in two. On my way to my car, I said, I found your problem. I'm going to the hardware store for parts. I'll have you back in business in no time. Great, Elizabeth said. I'm not above going next door and asking to use their bathroom, but my husband is a bit old-fashioned.
Back in business? You think shitting is my business? What the hell is wrong with you?
He loves the way she laughs. She's got a pixie haircut.
Oh my god, are they gonna cheat?
And her husband's a bit old-fashioned.
Okay, if it were me, we'd be...
I'm like, is there another book that comes after
committing
this that we're
adultery.
supposed to read? Because it just feels like there's so many new plot points being introduced. I don't have a pained look on my face, he said. Oh, sorry. She said my husband is a bit old-fashioned. I've seen that pained look on his face before. For his sake, I hope it won't take too long.
Are we devious or is Jack devious? What's going on here? I'm having trouble reading.
Like attracts like.
Am I projecting?
I don't have a pained look on my face, he said. You do, Derek. You definitely do.
You definitely
Next thing, you'll be jumping up and down. So embarrassing. 30 minutes later, I'd replaced the wax seal and had the toilet working again. I charged them for parts and then asked an additional $20. Is that all you want? Derek asked. Yeah, that's all. Stay for your shish kebab, Elizabeth said. It's your reward for fixing us up so fast. She really wants him to have a shish kebab. Well, that's really kind of you, but I really should be going. She thrust the shish kebab toward me like a sword.
Thrust. The only thing that you can thrust are shish kebabs and your hips.
The woman who has a short haircut and is more modern than her husband,
could play
and
Peter
whose laugh
Pan.
he likes, is thrusting a
This is the most graphic
This
Jack
is the
has ever
Mormon
been.
version of like sucking on a finger, you know.
Yeah. A vigorous kebab.
Look, I don't want to hear another word from you. Take the kebab and sit down and eat. Derek, you're excused to use the bathroom. Oh, and Derek's going to the bathroom right now. This has got.
Oh my god.
He is facing
god.
temptation after temptation.
Oh my god.
Maybe it's a hero's journey where he's just going to slay all his demons because he's going to resist every test.
Oh my god, I'm so proud of him.
I bet we've got a series of 3. Or
My
if it's
hero.
Jack, it could honestly be 2. You know, there's not usually any. Because we had the porn videos and now we've got Derek in the bathroom.
1, 2, 3. We're up at the boss.
Derek hesitated. This nice man won't think less of you if you excuse yourself. You can even turn on the fan so he won't suspect what you're doing. Sorry, but if someone acted like that towards their spouse in front of a guest, oof. She turned to me and winked. We won't know, will we? So you're winking over her husband.
She is so horny.
Going to do a poo.
Whoa.
I hate it.
This sucks.
No, this is foreplay, Tana. This is foreplay. Derek nodded and went to use the bathroom, so now they're alone.
This is literally a handyman scene. Jack!
The types of porns that he would have probably watched would
Probably.
probably be like this.
Yep. You know there was a sleeve with one of those. This was written in the early 2000s. Of course, the height of handyman porn. I've seen the stats.
Okay, we get it. He's shitting, exactly. The wink. I'm like, don't wink at me about your husband taking a shit. I don't want that.
Even if we smell nothing, we'll still pretend we don't, right? Am I right? Isn't that right? Even if we can hear his
Even if we're not
wet
gagging
slapping
in front.
farts.
No. You did this to us, Jack.
Right? Am I right?
Elizabeth, calm down. Sit down and start eating, she said. I've got dessert too. Baklava from a Greek restaurant. We get it takeout once a week. We both sat down. Catherine says you both teach in town, I said. Oh, and she's a teacher? We teach at the middle school. He teaches science and I teach English. That's good. At least they stick to their established gender roles for teachers.
At least.
How do you like doing that? We love it. The thing is, we can make a difference in these kids. Oh, he's going to become a teacher. He's going to become a seminary teacher. He's going to become a seminary teacher. I'm
that would
calling it.
suck.
I'm calling it. Okay, what Tim Robinson? Oh, yeah.
That was literally, yeah. I just was watching. There was 2 Tim Robinson episodes that I hadn't seen. I was like, what? So I watched one last night for the first time.
I discovered a new
laughed my
Rick
head
and
off.
Morty
was
that I
like,
hadn't watched.
Amazing. Just a little gift.
The thing is, we can make a difference in these kids' lives. We can change the world one kid at a time. That's what's so exciting about it. It's like, chill out. Like, she doesn't want your mission statement. We had the fan go on.
You know what that means.
No, dead phone.
You only turn on a fan to cover noise and smell, and was he making them, if you know what I mean.
Tim Robinson
Am I the only one
translates
who's
way
horny?
too quickly in the types of humour that you do and I do. Elizabeth laughed. My husband is so predictable, but I love him dearly. Okay, can I just say, she orchestrated that whole poo for him. She basically forced him to go take that poo. So she's like, he's so predictable, but it seems like you push him into what you want him to do and then call him predictable, which is a thing that I see couples do.
He's so predictable. He follows my every whim.
I know.
What a bitch.
It's like, no, you oh God. Disturbing. Need more on their relationship. A few minutes later, Derek rejoined us. It was comfortable being around them. They were so animated and happy and excited about life and their work as teachers. I ended up staying another hour.
They didn't seem like they were in debt or read the Wall Street Journal in order to be happy.
If she has a short haircut and she's an English teacher, we all know what she is. Ew.
Yes.
No. Rosie, no. I think it was Rosie. I ended up staying another hour. We ate and talked. Mainly, I asked them about teaching. Oh, Jack is so predictable.
Oh, they're gonna live out his dream of being a teacher. This is Jack's story. Male, female, biphoria.
I got chills.
Absolutely.
You seem awfully interested in teaching. How come? Elizabeth asked. I'm not sure I'm interested in teaching. It's just
so much
that
as I am for running away from everything that's familiar.
It's just that I want to make a difference. Also, does he know that if you're a teacher in 2004, you're going to have to use computers to grade work?
There is porn on computers. That's why they were made. There's more porn than anything else.
I want to wake up in the morning excited about what I'm going to be doing. I want to believe that I'm doing something to make the world a better place. That's teaching, Elizabeth infused. I don't know. Teaching propaganda, honestly.
To all the teachers out there.
Never heard a teacher be like, I love my job. It's just so fun getting to it. It's like, I'm dying, I'm drowning in debt, and I don't have the
They don't
resources this
respect
job
me.
asks of me. I'm earning 21 grand a year to do like a fucking 80-hour work week.
But I will say the teacher who made a difference for me was an English teacher.
Yeah, I loved English teachers. That's
Oh my
teaching,
God.
Elizabeth infused.
If he's going to an English teacher for support, does that mean he's gay?
Yeah, you got a really strong point. Or plumbing, Derek said. You certainly made our world a better place. Of course, some days as a teacher are the worst days of your life, Elizabeth said. But on other days, it's exciting to see a student who's been struggling finally catch fire. On days like that, there's no better feeling. All the way back to my cottage, I kept thinking about what it would be like to be a teacher, to make a difference in a boy or girl's life. It sounded great to me.
No greater calling, Jack. No greater calling. Except for writer.
R.I.P. my notes app. I would have made it otherwise.
Your novel!
What's funny is I'm just like, honestly, there wasn't anything that is devastating to lose. I'm like, you know.
I've got so many sketches that are just waiting for the right moment.
I know, and I know there's going to be things I remember in time where I'm like, oh, it's gone. But like right now, I'm just like, nope, just believe that all your work was bad and do best work from now on.
All my potential band names.
If it's a good band name, it will come back to you.
Boy Casper.
That is actually a good band name.
Thank you.
It's a good stage name for you as well.
Thank you.
It's like a more gothic Boy George.
Ah, yeah.
Spring Lake has two kinds of people. Those who live in elaborate homes and those who don't. That's the word, Jack.
That's the haves and the have-nots.
For the most part, I dealt with those who didn't have much money. Word got around and I kept busy. But in the second week of September, Julia got a call from one of the richest women in town. Are we going to have Jack demonizing the rich right now?
Always, of
A woman in her
course.
late 70s by the name of Mary Livingston Cartwright. I hear you
Sounds like an associate of,
She gets
of
3
Appleton.
names.
Yo, yeah, that's how bad she is.
Oh my god, is he going to solve the Appleton case and become a detective?
I think
a teaching detective?
My money is on that being a total non sequitur. It doesn't go anywhere. There's
Yeah.
no reason for his name to be mentioned.
I
but
hear you have someone
maybe he
staying
comes
with you who
back.
can fix things, Miss Cartwright said. He has been known to fix things, but I'm not sure he'd want to work for you. I hate trying to get people to come. They say they'll be here on a certain day, but they don't show up. So you call them and they make another promise and they show up 4 hours late, and then they tear everything apart and don't show up again for weeks.
Has this ever happened to you?
Flawless. Please, let him come and work for me. Well, let me talk to him. Please hold the line. Apparently, Julia and Mrs. Cartwright had previously had some run-in, and Julia couldn't help tainting the request. You want to do work for someone who's rich and snooty? Why did she call me? She can't get good help. I'll do it. She won't pay you what you're worth. Nobody else has. She never talks to Catherine when she comes to the beach. Oh no, she's too good to talk to the help. Even rich people have plumbing problems. Julia shrugged. All right, go fix her problem. I don't care one way or the other.
Jack is standing in solidarity with the working class. Jack is an anti-capitalist, and we love it.
So true though.
But in like the bitchiest way possible.
Yeah, because he still is pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
Yeah, and like a total like
But
beneficiary of the whole
That
system.
kind of is a working class narrative though, of like pull yourself up by your bootstraps to become the working, because I think they have to, you know, it's like it makes sense that people who have just only ever known poverty would have to kind of have that mindset to survive, you know.
Yeah, I'm with Jack. Make a better life for yourself.
Yeah.
Become a handyman or whatever.
Yeah, it's like a lot of the time working class people sometimes don't want to accept like how much they struggle when they shouldn't have to. Like they don't always understand that they do deserve to.
And that's propaganda.
I laughed. I can see you don't care. Mary Livingston Cartwright lived on the street that fronted and ran parallel to the beach. The house was a 4-story mansion built in 1947 by a weapons manufacturer who made a fortune during World War II.
I hope this is an
Anti-military industrial complex. Are you taking notes for our essay? What if we do like a dramatic essay reading for Patreon?
Oh, that would be
Brutal.
incredible. How about a slam poem?
Yeah, but I'm more of an essayist than a slam poetist.
I don't know. Do you remember our
I do, and I
Sarah
remember that
Palin?
you were the main author of the
Yeah,
wordsmithing.
but it was
Hate to say
beautiful.
it.
I mean, Sarah Palin was the main author.
Sarah Palin was the...
If you haven't seen that, that's a
and
deep
really
tracks
the
video.
universe just flowed through her to flow through us.
Exactly.
Mary Livingston, the daughter of a minister, had married into the Cartwright family. Together, she and her husband had raised 3 children who had long ago left the state. Her husband had been dead for 15 years, and she was now 72 years old and lived alone in that big house.
This is the last chapter, and Jack is introducing main
Mary Livingston
characters with
Cartwright.
backstories and 3 names.
Oh my god.
Stick to teaching, Jack. The best thing anyone can do for anyone.
It's like, well, apparently it was writing. But he writes to teach. It's
He
all an
does.
extension of him as a teacher.
Yes, yes.
I had to ring 4 times before she came to the door. She looked like she was dressed for a party that should have been held 40 years before.
Shit, Jack.
This is such a cartoon character. She wore a long pink dress with feathers sewn around the collar. Just a caricature of a rich woman. I was fairly certain nobody made dresses like that anymore. I'm the plumber. You talked to Julia about me. She shook her head. Go away. I've changed my mind. Did somebody come and fix your problem? No, nobody came. Then why would you change your mind?
Because I was actually going to hunt you for sport, but you don't seem smart enough to be fun.
You're not very chunky. I can't imagine you being able to. I don't want a stranger in my house. You never know these days. Now go away before I call the police. You requested this plumber, and you're saying go away or I'll call the police?
This is the rich if I've ever seen
Yeah,
them.
fuck the rich.
Everyone
honestly.
living outside of Rexburg, Idaho is like this. Fuck them.
She started to close the door. Would you like me to come back with Julia or Catherine? And yet, the Conservatives are the ones who want to prop up these people financially. That's what's so infuriating.
It's wild.
Is like they emotionally identify as working class, but vote in the interests of the people that they hate.
It's like we are in the Liberty Adams universe, aren't we?
Yeah. And we are liars. Ugh, such an unflattering angle.
Yeah.
It's like a major trouser pooch. An outfit that was good has turned sour.
That's why you always gotta rock up a cummerbund.
What is it again? Cummerbund?
I think
Cumberbunch?
a cummerbund. A
Cumberbund.
cummerbund. I think is.
Coming up on. Sorry. It was the tiramisu.
That was it.
You're just reading texts right now?
Oh, nice.
Oh, modeling gig.
The week, but like seriously, the like days before lockdown, I applied to be an art model, and then they were like, "Sorry, COVID."
You would be such a good art
I
model
just got a
because
text
you're
from them.
vitiligo. Hell yeah.
It's like $20 an hour to sit still.
Weren't you looking up cummerbund? Oh, that
Oh yeah.
$20 an hour to sit still is actually sounds like really hard.
Yeah.
Damn. Sitting still for an hour. I don't think I could have done that in college.
Cummerbund. It is a cummerbund.
Cummerbund, okay.
I'm so glad I pronounced it correctly, despite.
Wow, it's spelled
The
exactly
pressure.
how you think it is. He's a bit of a cummerbund, that one. Okay. Would you like me to come back with Julia or Catherine? I don't know them either. Catherine is the woman who collects money from people who use the beach. You've probably seen her sitting at her card table.
Can I see her tax receipts?
She's there every morning. I don't have ticket takers for friends. Oh. Fuck. A woman living alone with this much sass? Come on. She doesn't get paid for it. She's a volunteer. Again, like such a circle jerk. Like there's a... Jack has a real horniness for unpaid labor in this book as well.
Mhm.
That's the thing. You must have seen her if you've ever gone to the beach. Mrs. Cartwright hesitated. Perhaps if you bring her, I'll let you in.
She's wearing one of those big hats with like birds on it. I can see it now.
It took a long time to make the arrangements. First, I had to talk Julia into working at the beach for an hour, and then I had to convince Catherine to go with me.
Sounds like he's just running the coven now.
He's just like orchestrating a meet-up between two women for him to try and get a job. Absolutely not. Bad boundaries.
This is the last chapter of this book.
It is a long chapter, but it's not long
This
enough
is
to cover what we
crazy.
need to cover. Finally, we showed up on Mary's doorstep and were allowed inside. Oh, so skip the beach scene, but they all went to the beach for an hour is the moral of that story.
Great. I'm so glad we know that.
Amazing.
Thanks, Jack.
Catherine and Mary sat in the parlour and carried on polite conversation while I worked in the 4 bathrooms in the house. I had to make 3 trips to the hardware store. How much is this going to cost? Mary said. I won't be able to tell you till I'm done. I'm not a rich person, she said. I really think you should talk about cost before doing the work. It looked to me as though Mary was being held hostage by faucets that leaked and toilets that didn't always flush. It must have been years since she'd had anyone in the house to fix the problems. I worked for 2 hours before I was finally done. By this time, Mary and Catherine were at the kitchen table eating fancy sandwiches with no crusts and filled with a cream cheese green olive mixture they'd made together.
No crust. That is rich people shit.
Okay, here's one of my thoughts, because this is from the perspective of Adam. And Adam said they were eating sandwiches filled with a cream cheese green olive mixture they'd made together. But the dialogue is just him coming in and then saying, I'm done. So it's like, when did he find out that this was a cream cheese green olive mixture they were making together? Like, the details that Jack will add, he doesn't think of the fact that the character would not know those details. They have not had a way to ascertain that unless there's entire scenes you're not writing.
No, this is actually Jack commenting on the nature of consciousness being non-localized. He is intuiting correctly, tapping into the collective unconscious.
I hate how brilliant you are. I'm done. It certainly took you long enough. Did I mention I'm not a rich person? You did. Would you like to see what I've done? Yes, I would. I just hope you haven't made things worse. Oh, don't you worry about that, Catherine said. Adam here is very good. It took her a while to climb to the 4th floor, and then we worked our way down. I pointed out everything I'd fixed. By the time we reached the bottom, Mary Livingston Cartwright was very grateful. Oh, thank you for doing so much. No problem. I spent $27.49 at the hardware store. So how much do I owe you? $40. He's earning $13 for 2 hours of work.
What
Ridiculous.
the shit?
Is that all? Yes, ma'am. Well, you've got to let me do something
He's
for you.
just gonna guilt the rich into repentance? Is that the...
Like, make her pay. Well, you've got to let me do something for you. You've spent all this time working and you've done so much. There must be something I can do. I walked into the kitchen to make sure I hadn't left any tools lying around. See, again to my cream cheese point, he says, does that finger sandwich have cream cheese in it? I'd be pleased to have it. So why did the protagonist, this book is in the first person, tell us earlier that it was a green olive cream cheese? And now he's like, I'm just like, think.
Does that
Jack.
have like cream cheese in it? I intuited earlier, but I'm just checking to see if my psychic powers are what I feel they are.
I can make more, she said. No, just that little corner piece would be plenty for me. He's literally doing orphan right now.
No crust, please. It's hard on me tummy.
He's like, no, I only want a tiny corner piece. And $13? Can we only assume this is a new love interest?
Yes, this is the last chapter of this book, mostly about plumbing for strangers.
Or him shacking up with Mary Livingston Cartwright. Pella inheritance, or never have to use a computer again.
Mary Livingston Cartwright.
Alright, so he pops the sandwich in his mouth. She walked us to the door. She and Catherine gave each other a little hug. Mary Livingston Cartwright turned to me. Young man, in all my days, I've never heard of someone coming to make repairs who didn't charge an arm and a leg. I'm just happy to help out.
She's having a Scrooge moment. He is a ghost.
Somehow it's all been built. Like half a year of our lives.
The only book I have read from start to finish in months.
Jack is literally giving us breadcrumbs in the final chapter. Little corner piece.
But is there cream cheese on those crumbs?
Green olive cream cheese that we made together as an activity as friends. We now hug. We did it before. So she said, let me put you on retainer. What does that mean? It would be like an insurance policy. I would pay a certain fee every month with the understanding that if I need you to fix something, it won't cost me anything except for parts, and that you will promise to come within 2 hours of when I call you.
He literally is going to be an indentured servant.
Yeah, 2 hours, like the whole month, at any moment, you need to be willing to drop everything and be at hers in 2 hours. That's tough.
This is crazy.
I'd do that anyway without a monthly fee. Jack, we need to talk about your money mindset, baby girl.
Resentful of the rich and yet like just being
So bizarre. So much dissonance because again, I just think it's like Jack's thoughts on the rich and economics and his money mindset, they're not a coherent narrative, so you just see all these contradictions. Please, let me talk to my lawyer about it. I'm sure we can work something out, not only for me, but for all the houses on this street.
My lawyer for all the houses on the street? What the hell is
She's
she
not rich,
talking about?
Final chapter, Jack. Babe.
This is
Well,
so
it's
crazy.
not necessary. Just keep your fridge stocked with cream cheese and green olives. That's good enough for me. What is your name? She asked as we were leaving.
The pure of heart. It's absolutely fetishizing being poor, which we know is a reoccurring theme for Jack.
Yeah, you gotta fetishize what is your lived reality. As a physics teacher at BYU Idaho.
What if her lawyer is his girlfriend? Even though we know she's in social justice law or whatever, she's not
That's
working
not.
in
Jack
like...
doesn't need that. This is gonna be, or it's. What was his name?
Mark II.
Mark II. Who's Mark II? What's his name? Thomas.
Thomas. The train.
Getting the woman he abandoned to draft a retainer contract for us.
This is so dumb.
Okay, so she said, what is your name? Adam Roberts, ma'am. Adam Roberts, you are the finest young man I have ever known.
Their
It was
last name was
so-
Roberts this whole time?
Yeah, like Sam Roberts. I think we did know that. But can we also just talk about how easy it used to be in ye olden days to be the finest young man anyone had ever met?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's all all the male characters are like absolute assholes who abandoned their whole family or whatever it is, abandoned their son, Adam, which is why Adam is now like this, but then they're the finest man ever. What, because you didn't charge a rich person what you were owed because you've swallowed too much weird propaganda about money being bad? Or like not noble, it's not noble to like want to earn a living. It's like, well, someone's giving you free room and board. Like, people are paying, you are like living off the generosity of others, and then you think it's like really noble to not like charge money for your work, even at a market rate. Like, it's not. And it also undercuts other people in the pursuit of your weird narcissism.
If only he could have hired you as a life coach, things would have
I
been
know,
so
but
different.
he couldn't afford me. Your folks must be so proud of you. I shook my head. No, actually, they're not. They're very disappointed in me, but that's a topic for another day.
What are you talking about?
Me earlier on this live stream. Goodbye, Mrs. Cartwright. On the way out to the car.
Kisses are on the foot.
Catherine took my arm. You hate cream cheese and green olive finger sandwiches, don't you? Oh, another fucking layer. He didn't even like the sandwiches.
So dumb.
This is Tanner. This is Tanner's companion on his mission who thought it was more noble to sleep on the floor when he had a perfectly good bed. Yeah, poverty tourism. Thank you, Alex.
Wow, you hated those sandwiches, didn't you? You specifically hate the non-crustables ones, don't you?
I've accidentally done drag queen makeup because I didn't know the lighting was going to be like this.
You look great.
Drag queens look great, it's just not what I was going for. Okay, I shook my head. Oh no, sorry. I nodded, but don't tell anyone, okay?
I'm sorry, I just accidentally saw the phrase "sweet boy" coming along,
Yeah,
and
it's
I'm
coming
already...
up right now, and this is how it's going to be. Oh, Adam, my sweet boy, you have captured the hearts of everyone in this community.
Of every MILF on this island.
We want to invite you to officially join MILF Island.
Remove your loincloth.
You will now spend a night in the sneak away with our lawyer. And a box of VHSs. Okay, that's so kind of you to say. Where is this girl who once loved you? I don't know. She's probably married by now. How long has he been at this sleepy beach
It's been
town?
like 2 days.
I thought it had been maybe like 3 weeks.
I can't believe this. This is so silly.
Do we think 3 weeks? What's our best guess, actually?
Yeah, max 3 weeks. A
But
Jack
she's
Whalen book,
probably
all you
married
need
by
is
now?
1 night to get self-knowledge. Like,
But I think if he says she's probably married by now, it's maybe been a month to 2 months.
we do know he has a penchant for the dramatic, and I do, of course, appreciate that, like, values like, but...
What is her name? Brianna Deneau was her maiden name. She was engaged to a guy named Thomas Marler. And she's a lawyer who works in Newark, is that right? Probably not anymore. She's probably married and moved with her husband to Michigan, where they will both practice law. He has a bright future ahead of him. That's why it never would have worked out between us. It's a crying shame she can't see what you've become. I shrugged my shoulders. What I've become is nothing special. No, you're wrong. Your parents would be proud of you. I guess we'll never know, will we? I said. Because I have to just abandon them
I'm never
forever.
gonna see them again.
He's doing that like self-torturous thing of like, it's better for me to not be in their lives. But it's like, well...
Me pretending to run away from home when I was like 5
I
years
know.
old.
And every time I swear to God, when I would run away from home, my parents didn't give a shit. I'd come back like 45 minutes later, like screaming, and they'd just be like, oh, where have you been? Didn't care. This is an ominous final sentence of this, like, you know, pre-breaker. I should have known that Catherine never asked questions just to pass the time of day. In a sleepy town? You kidding me?
Oh no, she's got
Aw.
nothing to do but manipulate the lives of the poors for fun.
We also have Banksy here.
Local political analyst and social commentator.
Local tiramisu voyeur, Banksy. We endured torrential rains every day during the last week of September, so that by Friday night I had cabin fever and needed to take a walk along the beach. The forecast for the rest of the weekend was not promising. A hurricane was skirting parallel to the coastline, and there was a possibility it might turn west and head inland. Wow, we're now doing a hurricane. Again, just so much is going on in this chapter. But nobody
It's almost
could
like he's feeling some intense feelings.
I wish they'd make a movie of like this book, but like make it how it's actually written. Like, don't give it a Hollywood spin. Like, depict it so true to the text.
We should do it.
We should do it.
We're
If-
the only ones who can.
If
do
only
it.
like a scene or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're the only ones. No one else
We're the
will do
only
that.
ones.
Yeah.
And with yeah, it's too good.
If not us, who?
Who?
If not when? Now.
Never. But nobody could say when and where that might happen. Oh yeah, so everyone cast your votes for if we were to do like with our filmography friends, like a legit.
Let's just make a trailer. Let's make a
Useful
trailer for
scene.
the let's just we should pretend like there is a Charlie sequel and just release it as a straight face. They're doing a Charlie sequel, but it's a trailer.
Yes. And then we link to our Patreon. People can binge both series.
That's great.
We get new computers. Boom. At 8:30,
We can finally watch porn in peace on a big screen.
At 8:30, I put on a yellow rain slicker with a hood and walked briskly to the beach area. It was already dark and there was nobody else around. I headed north. The surf was up and waves were crashing onto the beach. It would rain steadily for a while, and then there would be a sudden deluge that would last a minute or two, and then it would go back to being steady again. I walked for an hour and then turned around and headed back.
And lately the weather has been so bipolar, and consequently so have I.
Commenter is right. We do need to make sure we do the monkey scene
Yes.
What restaurant can we film at?
Oh my
Zach's
god.
house, you know his like fountain area? We could easily turn that
Yes,
into like
absolutely. This book is a Tim Robinson sketch.
Yeah.
The episode I watched last night was Chunky, the mascot who comes out. He's like, "Don't talk. You have to figure out what you do."
When I was about half a mile from the Spring Lake Beach shelter, I saw a dark figure approaching me, Mr. Appleton, galling it. As I got closer, I could see the person was also wearing a yellow slicker. I was surprised anyone else would be out on a night like this.
Mr. Appleton is him from the future, please.
We seemed to be on a collision course. I didn't want to talk to anyone, so I changed my direction slightly. The stranger changed direction also, so he or she was still heading toward me. Oh my god, the suspense. Who is it? I stopped and turned to look out at the waves, hoping the walker would go on by me without the necessity of us talking. Uh-oh. Okay, cast your votes. Who do you think it is? You've only got 2 seconds because I'm too excited.
Mr. Appleton.
I soon became aware that the stranger in the yellow jacket was standing next to me. Got a match, she said. I turned and saw there was
Laura.
Brianna!
I mean,
Did you say Lola?
I said Laura.
Oh,
I forgot.
that's his mummy.
Yeah.
His mum too.
Well, you know, same thing.
My first impulse was to escape. Again, Brianna, you deserve better. He's too avoidant for you.
She tracked him down. Or Miss Marie Longbottom Feather Button called her, found her out.
What do you need a match for? I don't need a match, but that's what you're supposed to say when you meet on a beach on a dark night. What are you doing here?
That's what you're supposed.
We came to talk to you. I looked around. The beach was still empty. We? You got a clam in your pocket? Come with me and see. They're in the van. You must be married if you have a van, right?
Is that a clam in your pocket, or are you just having a
I think it's just Eddie and Claire, right?
Uh,
Hold my hand and I'll take you there. I know where that's from. West Side Story. He is unhinged right now. She grabbed my hand and led me to the street where a long van was parked with the engine running. Get in, she yelled. Are you working for the mafia now? Get in, I said. I opened the side door. In the few months the dome light was on, I caught a glimpse of my second mum sitting in the passenger seat and my dad behind the wheel.
oh, it's a gathering of moms. The moms have gathered.
I still can't believe he's saying my second mom when she's the only mother you ever knew.
We know who Laura is. We know who Mom is. We know who Charlie is. Please, please, please.
Like, how is his brain so thoroughly switched over to calling her his second mum in every
I
context?
don't know.
When it's like probably the first word he learned. Sit down and move over so I can get in, Brianna
Jack
instructed.
ate paint chips as a kid or something.
I got in and scooted over. Brianna sat down beside me and closed the sliding door. What's going on? I asked. We've all come to see you, Lara said. I turned and looked behind me. They've just like
I
rented this
can't.
van for an intervention.
I've fallen in with a sleepy lesbian town. I've forgotten your names already. Who are you?
I turned around and looked behind me. My grandparents on my dad's side were in the seat directly behind us. And in the last row, relegated to the last row, were my grandparents on my second mum's side. Oh, as well as Eddie and Claire.
Holy shit,
6
this is a
grandparents.
full-scale intervention.
It's a lot of grandparents.
Whoa.
We're all here, Claire said. I was stunned. What for?
What for?
What for? We need to talk, Lara said. My dad drove us to Julia and Catherine's house. I didn't have to give directions. They seemed to know where it was.
They intuited.
The 10 of us entered the cottage where I was living. There weren't enough chairs, so I went to the garage, got 6 more, and set them up in the tiny living room. He's setting up the chairs for his own intervention.
I wish to presume they haven't spoken a word the entire ride home. They're just like, you'll find out once we have chairs to sit on.
You get them. As we were sitting down, I looked around at the unexpected scene. All my relatives, except my brother Quentin, who is on a mission, were there, along with Brianna. I felt like I was having an out-of-body experience. Once we were all seated, my dad took charge. We have a few things we need to talk about as a family. I know, it is literally an intervention.
The way you've been going on about your first and second mom, it's annoying as shit. And honestly, I'm gonna spank you right here in front of the whole family.
If this is about trying to talk me into moving back to Utah, it's not about that, my dad said. What is it about then? It's about us being a family, Lara said. We're going
Wait,
to...
who's Laura? Is that his first mom? I wish he would clarify. I'm lost here.
We're going to start back at the beginning, my dad said. He sounded in charge, but then he looked over at Lara, who nodded as if she were giving him permission to continue.
We know who wears the pants in this relationship.
Adam, I loved your mum very much, my dad said. Oh, the lighting on this stream seems really bad.
Sam, it's too
It's
late.
too late.
It's too late.
You know when you just want something to be perfect,
It's
though.
not going to, nothing's perfect, let it all go.
She often turned my very predictable world upside down, but I loved her, he sighed. More than I can say.
You didn't, you turned her
Dad,
world
stop
around.
getting your hairs in the tiramisu.
I'm too sad.
The wind and the rain were getting worse, and the bare branches of a tree were beating on the window. We had trouble getting pregnant, so when you came along, we were very happy. Life was so good for us for a while, and then your mum got sick. As she got worse, it was a very hard time for me.
Are
He
they going to
cleared
bring
his
up her
throat.
being a slut? Is that coming?
I think they're going to have to address
It's like,
it, yeah.
And just because she was chewed gum doesn't mean that you're chewed
We need
gum
all
too.
6 of the
She'll be
grandparents
punished
to
for
weigh
her
in.
own sin.
You took her to North Dakota to die.
Thank you.
As she got worse, it was a very hard time for me. He cleared his throat, and when she died, a part of me died with her. Just let a moment for that to...
Yeah, that's it.
Laura reached over and held his hand. I had a pretty rough time of it for a while, and then I met Lara, and she helped me so much. He sighed. Looking back on it now, maybe I should have waited before getting married again. Yeah, no shit, but also rude to say it now.
Yeah, is this all...
In front of all these people and Lara.
Also, they have no idea what's going on in his life, right? They just know that he went missing, and then they tracked him down into a town, and they're like, we need to talk about how I got remarried too soon.
Yeah.
It's causing him to baptize my dead wife's parents, and then run out on him.
The reason I say that is because I was still grieving Charlie's death, and it wasn't fair to Lara. Wait, this book
Are we
is
doing
like...
genuine processing?
Yeah, that's a bit, because it wasn't in the last book, it was just pitched as if...
That is the most insightful
Yeah, I know.
I've ever seen Jack
That's what we
Whalen.
said the entire book of Sam.
He watched
And this
everything.
book was written like 20 years later.
Wow.
Wow.
He did it. He offered a single modicum of insight.
In the
I'm
last
so
chapter.
happy.
Some days I was like the Walking Dead. Even after a year I wasn't in very good shape, my dad said. But you know what? You can't call a timeout in life. You were growing up and you needed a mum. It's not that much growth then.
And now he's just needed mom after mom
There's
after
no
mom.
other way. It has to be me getting into a codependent marriage with a Mormon woman. Lara knew that, so I'm sure because of that she agreed to marry me. Lara interrupted him. That's not entirely true, Sam. I loved you. I loved you both. I couldn't imagine my life without either of you. Dad leaned over and kissed Lara on the cheek. This woman is my hero, and I will always be grateful for her rescuing me and for being such a wonderful mum to you.
Mum too.
Mum too for you. There was a knock on the door, and then Julia and Catherine came in with a basket full of sandwiches and some soft drinks.
He's like, not the goddamn sandwiches with the olives and fucking
Oh shit, Julia's helped orchestrate this.
Probably, this is what you get for fraternizing with the rich.
Yeah. I bet you people are starving. Eat these up. Let us know when you need more. You didn't need to go to so much trouble, Lara said. Nonsense. We'll get out of here now and let you talk. And with that, they left. Let's finish this up and then we'll eat, my dad said. He cleared his throat. Adam, there's one thing you need to understand from tonight. It was Lara who rescued both you and me. She was the strong one for those first few years. Grandma White spoke up. Lara used to call me in tears about how hard it was for her, with Sam still grieving, about to lose his business, and even at times, Adam, how he ignored your needs! Another moment of insight. Do you think Jack got feedback on the book and then came? I just don't imagine he wrote book 2 with that in mind, or there would have been more.
No, Jack
Because
was
again,
just...
the whole book, we were like, whoa, he's really abusing his child's needs.
Yeah, no.
And I like to think that all the mums in his ward and all the women in his life who now read the books were like, wow,
Wow,
Adam's
he's
really...
a bad character. And
Yeah,
he's like,
and Jack
oh,
at
yeah,
first was like,
totally.
no, it's because... And then they're like, well, still, it's his son.
It's kind of like how he identifies entirely with the movie version now.
Yeah. Lara shook her head.
Wow, that's actually impressive though, to be able to
Yeah.
change your own canon in light of new evidence and human compassion. That's growth, and we love to see it,
We
even
love to
from
see
Jack
it.
Whalen.
I'm not Mother Teresa. I just did what needed to be done. In time, I did get better, my dad said.
You didn't start an exploitive system of orphanages.
But by then, we were in a pattern where Lara took charge of most everything in the family. I should have been more of a leader, but the truth is I wasn't. I'm sorry about that now. What if Jack wasn't much of a leader in his home?
What if he was
I
too
feel
focused
like
on
that's a
physics?
common experience in Mormonism where it's pitched that the man should be like the leader, but a lot of the time the women end up being higher functioning and like picking up the slack for their husbands a lot because there's like a learned incompetence in patriarchy. And so maybe this is Jack reflecting and being like, I should have been more of a leader and not just let the wife... Because that just feels like the Mormon story, isn't it? It's like man is supposed to lead, but women ends up functioning better. Lara turned to Eddie and Claire. I apologize for not including you more in Adam's life. It was up to Sam. Why is she apologizing? I was young and insecure, and there were times when I was very jealous of Charlie, and I think that jealousy caused me to not be as friendly as I should have been. Sam still could have, do you know what I mean? It still doesn't feel like it's on her. We know you were going through a hard time, Claire said. As long as we're clearing the air here, you need to know how hard it was for us, Eddie said. Adam was our first and only grandchild. We wanted to be involved in his life. But the way things went, we didn't even feel comfortable sending him presents. I still have the toy train set I bought for him, except for the caboose, which I let Adam take up with him to Utah. My dad's mum, Grandma Roberts, spoke up. Eddie and Claire, we should have been more sensitive to that.
A self-initiated conversation where adults are taking accountability for their actions is incredible. Never thought I would see it from Jack.
Sorry, I need to drink caffeine before it becomes too late in the day to drink caffeine.
Wow. Well, if you're caffeinating,
I'm making a tea. Do you want one?
what kind of tea?
Nutcracker.
Nutcracker tea? What'd that mean, bestie?
It's just like some kind of black tea.
I'll have a little tea. All right, I'm gonna read.
Do you want number 2, Mom, or World's Greatest Wife?
I want number 2, Mom. Grandpa Roberts nodded his agreement. I apologize, Eddie. We had always been so close as business associates. That was some interesting punctuation. It seems a shame to have lost contact over the years, especially since we share a grandson. When did they go into business together? Was that real? Is that just made up just now?
Who?
The grandpas?
Which grandpa?
The grandpas.
Each other.
Yeah.
Business grandpa?
The grandpas were in business
Wait,
the whole
so like
time.
Charlie's parents?
We're in business with
Sam's
Sam's parents.
No.
This is canon. This
Wait,
is written down.
Charlie and Sam's parents?
Grandpa Roberts not in agreements. I apologize, Eddie. We had always been so close as as business associates. We didn't have a gay thing, if that's what you're wondering.
Sorry, they were fucking business associates and they all fell out of touch? This is insane.
When were they
This is making it worse.
Oh wait. No, that actually checks out. Remember? The reason that Charlie was introduced to Adam. Yep.
Damn,
Okay.
blast from the past.
Wow. That, man, I forget so much about this. Oh, this is great. I think it's time we put the entire train together on the same track, Laura said. Oh, reconnecting the caboose. Alex Crandall never referenced again. We're a family, my dad said. Everyone here is in our family. Now that y'all have embraced the true gospel, you will no longer have to spend outer darkness disconnected from us. We will now treat you as equal members of the human family.
It wasn't worth it before.
And Quentin on his mission is also in our family. And that person over there is a person. And the thing is, we need to look out for each other. If one of us is having a tough time of it, then the rest of us need to pitch in and help out. That's what families do. Should I text this to your mom?
Not my family.
How could you think that? My mom never mind. My mom looked at me. Adam, what are you thinking? I can't believe you all came here to see me. I didn't think anyone cared about me one way or the other. My mom looked at me. Adam, oh, never mind. How could you think that? My mom asked. Somehow I got the idea growing up that as long as I did what you wanted me to do, then I was acceptable to you. But if I ever stepped out of line and did anything you didn't approve of, then you'd write me off and forget all about me.
Okay, sorry, but Jack has to have experienced that in his own childhood.
I think we all experienced a little bit of that.
Everyone does, yeah.
I can't believe Jack is creating a genuinely wholesome moment.
What
This
I think is interesting
amazing.
is like his description of like mother-son some of his descriptions of relationships are like really on the money, if you know what I mean. Like him just describing that relationship with his mother. It's like when Jack is writing about something he knows, it will be like spot on kind of.
Unless it's actual physics, and then sometimes it's dicey as shit.
But do you know what I mean? You can see what stuff in the book he's gone through versus the stuff that he's just making up, because the stuff that he makes up just like doesn't make any logical sense why a person would feel that. But then the stuff that he's drawing from his own life is like, oh yeah, that's an experience we can all relate to, and that so we know that there is like pretty big pieces of him in it.
I like to believe. Mr. Appleton. Oh, this is so funny. We love you no matter what, she assured me. And what do you think about this crazy mixed up family? Claire asked Brianna.
So crazy.
Y'all are just so messy.
It's just like standard polygamy.
This is nothing. I love your family. Okay, met for the first time. I wouldn't be comfortable you saying love yet, Brianna. Maybe like this family.
Yeah, where's Brianna here?
I love your family. She was struggling to keep from getting too emotional. I don't have one of my own anymore.
What do you... It all comes back. We didn't even realize there's been an orphan in our midst this whole time.
Was an orphan. Oh.
Was it just
I knew I sent a familiarity. What do you mean you don't have a family? Everyone has a family, Grandmother White said. Grandmother, you need to shut up.
Being a good bitch right now.
Okay, boomer. My dad left us when I was in high school, and then a few years ago, my mom died. Be in our family then, Eddie said. I'd love to be included in your family.
Jack! Who seems to have maybe broken up with her.
He wanted to escape her. He did not want to be together. Oh my god, are they going to get married? Was this him just getting flighty?
Yeah.
And how he's going to...
Classic nerves right before a life-changing
Oh my
situation where
god.
you doubt everything you've ever known.
All in favor, say aye, Eddie said.
This is not how interventions are supposed to go.
If everyone wants him to marry...
No, and this is a strong case for hiring an intervention coordinator, okay? Because they can stop bullshit like this from happening.
Oh my god. For 1 second we were like, this is so wholesome and good, and now it's like, what the fuck, Jack? Everyone said aye except for me. Then it's settled. Brianna is an official member of our family.
No wonder he ran away from you guys. What the fuck?
My mom glanced at me and winked. I wonder how we can make it even more official, she said with a silly grin on her face.
Doing a poo.
Yes, I wonder about that too, my dad said. Are we about done here? Grandpa White asked.
I'm on his side. I'm on his side.
Oh my god.
Sorry, my kettle is just boiling. If you just wait like 10 seconds.
Is Grandpa White Eddie? Is that what I'm getting?
No, I think that's White is Laura's name. That's Laura's dad.
They brought Laura's dad. Oh my god, they brought Laura's
They
dad
brought
too?
Laura's-
Oh
It's
my.
his grandparents' house.
This is
The
so
only one he's ever known.
dumb. Yeah, Laura's dad is like, why did I fly out for this?
No, but they have been in each other's lives like their whole lives.
The only reason I mention it is that I'm starving. They fed us on the plane, but I'm not sure what it was. Whatever it was, there wasn't. Jack just cannot be bothered to think of what meal they might serve on an airplane.
Whatever it was, I was unmemorable.
Whatever it was, there wasn't enough to fill up an ant. Well, I said, don't you want to know what my plans are for how I'm going to make a living? What kind of sandwiches are they? Grandfather White asked. I just hope they're not egg salad. I can take anything but egg salad.
Classic crazy granddad.
How are you going to make a living? My dad asked. I'm going to be a plumber and repairman for Spring Lake. And if that doesn't work out, I may go to college and become a teacher.
My backup plan is going to college to become a teacher. That'll be easy.
Eddie was out of his seat checking on the sandwiches. This
for
one is
him.
ham. This one is ham. This one is cheese. Oh, here's a tuna. Anyone want tuna?
The granddad is the balloon of the episode.
Oh, yeah. I'm the monkey who's getting belligerated for no word.
Oh, sorry, this is your one.
Oh, yay. Thank you.
But it's gonna need to be teabagged for probably a bit longer. It's kind of hot.
That makes two of us. Eddie was on his seat. Oh, yeah. That was as long as... This is so dumb. Jack almost had us. He almost had me.
Did you see that comment I was laughing at?
No, what is it?
I hate that we've gone to bathroom humor for quite a lot of this episode, but someone said egg salad is not good for the water closet. Because he's a plumber now. Just do plumbing.
We got the full names of that random couple who existed for no other reason than to buy time until every single person who's ever met him in his life shows up to intervene
It's
from
not
him becoming a landlord. Be whatever you want to be, my mom said. We don't care as long as you're happy.
As long as you're a Mormon.
That was as long as she could keep the men in my family from rushing the food. She turned to my dad.
Men.
They've
So
totally
unavailable.
forgotten the reason for the intervention. They're just like...
It's like you haven't like weighed in properly. Like nothing has been settled, and the men are just like, well, this seems done.
This stranger is now a member of our family. Everything's good
Arranged
now.
marriage. Porn, I'm sticking by it. As I'm gonna apologize for being such an ass.
This
I
is
doubt
so
it.
dumb.
Oh, he just called her my mum. Slipped that one back in there, didn't
Whoa.
you, Jack?
My dad asked Eddie to say the blessing. After the blessing, we attacked the food. This is like my 12-year-old journal.
Yeah.
Within a couple of minutes, my mom and grandmothers went next door to help Julia and Catherine prepare some more food. Are they doing this all on Milf Island?
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought they'd gone to
No.
Eddie and Claire's.
He walked an hour along the beach when he met Brianna, and I think she came back from it. So I think.
And they drove to Milf Island without being told where to go?
I think so, yeah. And Brianna walked like an hour in wonder. It is confusing. How did they know who?
They went to help prepare her more food. Like, this intervention has got out of hand. Neighbor, will you help us prepare some more food? Half an hour later. This is Jack literally just shooting the shit, buying time for his last chapter.
Big reveal.
This could have been half of this. This is Jack. Half an hour later, Julia rushed in to tell us the hurricane was headed inland.
Oh!
We turned the TV on and watched the Weather Channel. All caps. Back when the Weather Channel meant something.
Can I read again?
Yes.
It's just harder for me to focus if I don't.
I feel ya.
Masterful use of verbs. I'm still so upset about how this stream looks compared to how it should look.
Yeah. We're all in mourning.
I thought I was going for a wedding, but I'm at a funeral. And the funeral is our vibes. And me looking good on camera. Devastating. We were just outside of the area where they expected the hurricane to come ashore, but we were in an area where they were forecasting high winds and heavy rains. Julia invited us all into her house, and then she started assigning rooms where people could spend the night. You okay?
I just burned my tongue and then I tried to
It's
set this
really
one
hot.
up. I gotta go to the bathroom. Don't have too much fun, and hopefully I don't have too much fun.
Are you actually going to the bathroom?
I'm just going over here for just a minute, no reason.
Okay, just go, okay. Should I keep reading?
Yeah.
Okay. You can hear me, okay?
Yeah.
That's what we've been reduced to. Sorry, we're going on an hour and a half. Or not, sorry. I turned to Brianna. You can sleep in the cottage. I'll sleep in here on the couch. She nodded. Thanks. No problem. If you two are married, you could both sleep in the same room, Eddie teased. Fuck off, Eddie! What do you think? Wait, he said, what do you think? I asked Brianna. She looked a little worried. About what? About us getting married. This better not be your idea of a proposal, my mum warned.
He's like, no, mine was way worse.
No, mine was way worse. I was worried that this family orchestrated proposal might end up scaring poor Brianna off.
What the fuck?
It's late, I said. Brianna, come with me and help me change the sheets. She nodded. Good night, everyone. I love you all. We love you too. In the cottage, Brianna and I pulled the bedding off my bed and made it up again with clean sheets. We tried to be efficient and robotic about what we were doing. That's foreshadowing. While she was putting on pillow slips, I started for the door. I'll see you in the morning. If you get flooded out or anything, come into the house. Thanks. Good night, Adam. Good night. I paused. Brianna, I've never stopped loving you. Me either. Good night, Adam. He's blushing. Hurry up! Also, I'm
This
losing
is-
my voice a lot.
I can't believe it. This is making this seem like the whole
Did you just
point.
slick your hair back?
I did a little bit. It's been a rough day. I just can't believe that their whole thing here was to stage not an intervention, but an arranged marriage for someone who he is actively trying to escape. This is crazy.
What with the wind gusting to 70 miles an hour and the rain periodically coming in sheets, it was nearly impossible to sleep. And of course, knowing that Brianna was sleeping in my bed, even though I wasn't there with her, didn't help either. Oh, that's getting him going. By 7:30 the next
That
morning...
is so manipulative, Eddie. What the fuck? Being like, you guys could be banging in your bed if you were married.
Shut the fuck up, Granddad. Why are you talking about this? The same Granddad who was too huggy, I might add.
My precious sweet boy.
My boy, my boy.
I'm sorry, I'm just a monster when I'm drunk, Dizzy.
By 7:30 the next morning, the worst, a clumsy monster, the worst of the storm had passed. It was still raining, but with nowhere near the intensity it had during the night. The phone started ringing. I wanted to sleep, so I didn't get up to answer it, but I could hear Julia in the kitchen pick it up, take a message, and then hang up. No sooner did she hang up than it rang again. Finally, at 8 o'clock, she came into the living room where I was sleeping. Wake up, Adam. You've got pretty much the whole town wanting you to come and do repair work on their places. Tanner is so predictable. I did a wink when you're in the bathroom. So predictable. I got dressed, then went into the kitchen to look at the list of people who had called. Alongside each name, Julia had written down the damage they needed to get fixed. I love how his dream job is just fixing people's toilets. I sat down and began to work out where I needed to go first.
Weren't there like a shit ton of plumbers in this town? Didn't they?
But none of them show up, and
none of
word's
them
getting
show
around that he shows up.
Oh, he's the king
And he
of Milf
charges
Island.
less than minimum wage. Water lapping at the foundation of a house took preference over a screen door ripped off its hinges. My dad came downstairs, found out what I was doing, and then went to wake up my 3 grandfathers. All 3?
They're in a bed like Charlie in the Chocolate Factory.
There's not one granddad who your relationship's a bit weird with, who maybe it's like crossing a line to go wake him up. All 3, huh?
Eddie's like, I've got a golden grandson.
Brianna wandered in, saw what was going on, and offered to help.
Do you need help waking your grandfathers?
They cannot do it. Half an hour later, the men in our family, Brianna, Lara, and Grandmother White and Claire, left to go battle the elements. Julia, the men in our family, Brianna, Lara, Grandmother White. Why didn't you just say, like, everyone? Why is it the men in our family and then each of the women in the family listed individually?
Jack is changing his ways. He's trying to give women individual identities. It's incredible. Good job, Jack.
Julia and Catherine volunteered to cook for us, and Grandmother Roberts agreed to work the phones. Okay. I went to each house, introduced either my grandfather or my... So they're all just helping him with his plumbing stuff now.
Yeah, it's a family business now.
I went to each house, introduced either my grandfather or my dad, and then moved on to the next place. Finally, Brianna and I were dropped off by Grandmother White at the home of Mary Livingston Cartwright. Her house, being next to the beach, had been severely pummeled by the storm. There were 2 inches of water on the first floor and water damage on the second floor, where the branch of a tree had broken a bedroom window, allowing rain to pour into the room. The electricity was still out, so there was no possibility of using a wet-dry vac, which I didn't have anyway. We called Grandmother White and asked her to go to the rental place and rent one. We'd use it once the electricity came on. The only thing we could do was start mopping up. Brianna and I starting in the living room. We worked as hard as we could because we wanted to save the hardwood floors and expensive antique furnishings. Miss Cartwright, in her trademark feathered evening dress, watched us work. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad you could come right away.
This is the last
Boring!
chapter of this book.
A long ass chapter as well. We're gonna be going for like over 2 hours.
Yeah,
Or
holy shit,
about
y'all
2
are
hours.
troopers. We've only lost 5 people, roughly.
It took us 3 hours before we were done. We called Grandmother White. She came and got us. How are we doing? I asked. We're keeping up. People keep asking how much they owe you. We haven't known what to say. $20 plus materials. You'll never get rich that way. No, but I'll have a lot of friends.
Oh, no, not buying your way to
That's what it
friendships.
all comes back to. The Michael Scott having 100 kids so I can have 100 friends.
This is really sad. I feel sad now.
Remember how we started this book with him on a mission?
Oh, yeah. Whoa.
We worked most of the day. The last place we visited was the apartment of Derek and Elizabeth, the dynamic school teaching duo. Oh yeah, whatever happened with them?
Oh.
Oh my gosh, it's plumbing guy Derek, and he brought his wife with him. Let's fix some shish kebabs, Elizabeth said. It's a one meal. She just busts it out every time. We don't have any electricity, he called out. He rains on every parade, Elizabeth jokes. Please. Please.
That's
come
only
in.
when he's pissing, not when he's shitting. Am I right?
And you must be Mrs. Plumber Guy. I'm Brianna. We're not married, she explained. Well, you'd better get it done soon, kiddo. The last time your boyfriend was here, I flirted with him shamelessly, and I even gave him my best shish kebab. She admitted that she flirted with him shamelessly. I respect it. Most bland polycule. That was your best one, I teased her.
Polycruel.
So has Jack become okay with flirting a little bit with married women?
Hard to say where he, maybe, I think he's just as an artist presenting the truth as he sees it.
Yeah.
No judgment.
Derek, you've got to come in here. Plumber guy just said something funny, and he bought his, she looked at us, plumber's
His
assistant.
situationship with him.
Friend, oh, there's no flattering way to say it. Friend, I said. His friend, and she's a girl. Derek came in. He'd been trying to roll up the carpet that had been soaked by the rain. It had proven too hard for just one person. Can we help? I asked. Yeah, that'd be great. We rolled up the carpet, lugged it out to the garage, and draped it to dry over the bed of an old pickup Derek was in the process of restoring. A short while later, Brianna and I met all the others at Julia's place. Oh, why are we doing all these scenes? We're so close to the end, but we've got like 4 more pages.
Why, Jack?
And they're very short. A short while later, Brianna and I met all the others at Julia's place. Everyone had a story to tell about their day. It was exciting for us to have all worked together as a family to help people get through an ordeal. By this time, the electricity had come back on, which was good since Julia and Catherine had been making pizzas all day. And so now, with the oven working, we sat around and ate and talked and waited for the next pizza to be done.
You mean to tell me they had them all fly in during a hurricane?
Oh my god, yeah. Well, maybe they just drove down and it wasn't too far away. It was like 2 hours away.
Sam and Laura had to have flown, right? From Utah?
Oh yeah. During a hurricane. That has been like...
To be like, I notice you've been sad. We're gonna force you to marry this girl you have expressed no desire to marry.
Our meal, who Sam and Laura know nothing about, really.
Oh god.
Our meal took 2 hours, and by that time the rain had stopped and the storm had passed completely over. It was early evening. You want to walk along the beach and see what the storm did? I asked Brianna. That'd be great. The storm had created a new beach, and it was awesome to see what the winds and rain had done. It was Brianna's idea to reach for my hand as we walked. I've decided to stay in Spring Lake and be a fix-up guy. You're already that.
You're already a fix-up guy. You need
I'll
so much
start
fixing
charging
up.
more now. Good idea. That's what I'm going to do. What are you going to do? She cleared her throat. My plans are still up in the air right now. Can I ask you a question? Sure. What about Thomas? It's over between us, for good. How come? She thought about it. We were too much alike. It would be like marrying myself. I don't want someone who thinks exactly like me. I'm not much like you. That's true. She got a wicked smile on her face. But you know what? To tell you the truth, I'm not sure I even need you. I'm already a part of your family, so what would I gain by marrying you? I'll make you laugh. You make me laugh already. I'll keep your feet warm at night. I have naturally warm feet. I'll give you children. It's getting kinky. Oh, you will you? You're just going to walk up and give me children? Really? Where will you get them from? Woman's flirting. This is peak woman's flirting. The kids' store. She laughed. So that's how it works. I've always wanted to know.
Someone said they made pizza all day not knowing if they'd have power.
I know. Slaving away. They were like, anything's better than fixing the toilets with this guy.
We'll eat it raw if we must.
You know Julia and Catherine aren't orphans, right?
I don't think that's ever been properly disclosed. In my mind, they're orphans.
We continued walking. So really, Adam, what have you got to offer me? I love you more than anyone could ever love you. I think there's a lot of people that would not run away for 2 months without any explanation and completely ghost you.
And did not say they wanted to marry. Remember, he was the only one who didn't raise his hand.
Like, sorry, but the intensity of your feeling is not really enough. You've been a shit partner and you've done nothing to apologize for it.
Literally the only thing that's changed is his grandpa got him horned up.
It's so disturbing that she would marry him after this without him, like, really proving that he's changed his ways.
But I'm glad it's happening. I would have hated to get all dressed up for nothing.
We're dressed for a wedding, so why don't we just do it? She nodded. I love you the same way. So have we reached an agreement, counsellor? I'll expect a proposal. In writing? No, just get down on your knees and propose. The ground's wet.
He already did.
Poor
It
baby.
sucked.
I knelt down on the sand, held her hand, and said, Brianna, I love you. Will you marry me? Of course I will, you silly boy. She pulled me to my feet and we embraced and kissed. Didn't feel the need to plan anything or, get her a ring, just...
Did he figure out the debt situation? Have you thought about the debt? All the stuff he's been spiraling about, none of it has got any attention, no working through. It's just been like, and so I just buried myself in tasks for strangers for no reason until the book ended. Yee.
Tana, we're about to have a classic Jack Whalen skipperooski. Brianna and I were married in the Washington, D.C. temple on Tuesday, March 18th. It was as close as we could get to the 1-year anniversary of Eddie and Claire's baptisms. We were there with them when they went through the temple for their own endowments, then joined our family in the sealing room where first they were
like,
sealed
are we in
together
a
as
cult?
a couple. Yeah. Claire had a panic attack. And then Brianna and I were married. Brianna and I and my mum spent a few minutes together in the celestial room of the temple following the sealing. Do you think he means his first mum?
Charlie?
Yeah, in the celestial room.
Did he say?
He said, Brianna and I and my mum spent a few minutes together in the
Laura.
celestial room.
He switched to
Okay.
Laura.
After everyone else had gone to change into street clothes. Do you have something you'd like to tell me? I asked my mum. She nodded. It's just a thought I had in the session. Let's see. How can I put this into words? She pursed her lips.
You know how Peter and Lucifer shake hands? It must imply that Lucifer can take a corporeal form, at least in some situations.
So good. When you were a little boy, you tried so hard to be a good boy and to please me. I taught you to put away your toys, and you did that every night just because you knew it would make me happy. That's the kind of boy you were. Hard to believe that now, isn't it? She smiled. What I want to tell you today is not about keeping things in their proper place. Okay. Last summer, you learned a great deal about your first mum. From that, I think you wanted to please her, to be the kind of person she'd want you to be.
How is
that
she knowing all
accurate?
this? They haven't talked about anything this whole time.
Same
Our
way
mom
he knew
always
about
knows.
the cream cheese green olives.
That's right.
I
family
thought
of
about it for a
intuitives.
I thought about it for a moment. Yes, it is. We are so close to the end. It's the last 2 pages. Just this little spread.
He does love to be called a good
He
boy.
does. And then with Brianna in the picture, there was one more woman to try to please. Did it get tough trying to please 3 women?
Well, you're gonna hate the afterlife, where we will all be polygamous.
I glanced at Brianna and smiled. It did, actually. This is what I learned from being in the temple today. Adam, choose any career in life you want, as long as it's honourable work. Be the best home repairman in New Jersey if that's what you want. Or the best teacher if that's the path you choose. You don't have to please me. You don't have to please your first mum. Just please Heavenly Father and you'll do all right. She gave me a hug and kissed me on the cheek. You're not my little boy anymore, Adam. You're a man and you're in charge.
She's like, and I'm sensing you may have chopped up some pornographic videos with an axe, and I think that's great.
She turned to leave the celestial room. Mom? I called out. She turned to face me. Yes? I took both her hands in mine. Thank you for always being there for me. I'm very grateful to you for being my mum. I love you more than I can say. Thank you, Adam. You can't know how happy that makes me feel. And then she left the room. Brianna and I stayed a few more minutes, sitting on a couch together, holding hands and just enjoying the beauty of the room and our own private thoughts. Finally, we got up to leave. One of the temple workers, a sweet, frail little lady with white hair, who had been assigned to be in the celestial room, stopped us. She shook my hand. Oh my God, I just read ahead. Excuse me, was that your mother who left a few minutes ago? Yes.
No. No!
Wait. Who were the other two women who came and sat down with you on the sofa? There was nobody sitting with us, Brianna said. No, there were. I saw them. I stopped to think about it. Was one of them young? Yes, just a few years older than you, I would guess. Was she beautiful? I asked. Yes, very. She seemed very happy to be there with you both. Is she here now? I asked. No, both of them left a few minutes ago. The other woman, what was she like? Brianna asked. Brianna's mum as well.
Oh, this
She
is
was-
like Candyland or something.
Also, I love that the ghosts are the age they were when they died.
Oh yeah, I love how he just clarifies. Was she hot? Was she super hot? Was she bangable? Does she look like she maybe even had a problem with chastity due to being so hot and bangable?
The other woman, what was she like? Brianna asked. She was maybe in her early 40s and had long dark hair. She paid particular attention to you. Brianna and I turned to each other. Tears were streaming down her face. Our mums were here. Our mums were here. Weren't they? She asked. They were, I said. She wiped at the tears with a tissue. I'm so happy. Me too. We held hands and walked out of the room, happy at the special gift given to us on our wedding day. Magazines, this is a new paragraph, new breakup, post-break. Did one ghost seem fun-loving and smart?
She got on the temple intercom.
Magazines sometimes run articles with the title, What Women Really Want from a Man. I know the answer to that question. A woman wants a man who listens to the spirit. No, we don't, babes. And who strives to do what Heavenly Father wants him to do.
I would settle for listening to me.
I know it won't be easy, but that's the task that lies ahead of me. A woman also wants a man who knows who he is. Finally, I know who I am. And then he just describes himself in relation to everyone else. I am Adam, the son of my father Sam, and my birth mother Charlie, raised by a loving mother, Laura, married to righteous, wonderful Brianna. I am Adam.
Homely
and now
but compensating Brianna.
I am Adam, and now, finally, I am on my way.
I'm on my way. I don't know where I'm going.
Crazy that this one never got turned into a movie.
Damn, Jack is he was really scraping the bottom of the
He's
barrel
like, I
there.
figured out who I am, and it's literally just like who you are in relation to the other people in your life.
Literally did not address a single one of the problems that he was he's like, I'm wrestling with all these crazy things, like finding out his mom's a slut.
I'm Adam and I'm coming, the title of his couch interview. Really nothing got figured out. And
He just got
Brianna
pressured into getting
accepted.
married, and she was like, yeah.
But did he ever confess his porn addiction? He didn't need to because of the act.
I've been conditioned to view incompetence as endearing.
The truest thing.
That's kind of my my comfort zone.
Well, I've learned to weaponize incompetence. Wow. Lots
What
to
a
process.
journey. We didn't even get a fucking wedding scene. All that horned up and
I know,
planned
it's
for
just
nothing.
like then we were married, but our ghost mums were there, so that was pretty sick.
Jack.
Nothing about the sandwiches at that wedding.
No, not a word. Really? You're gonna introduce porn in the first act and then not have compensation in the third? It's not like one of the
Well,
laws
that's what I think the axe thing was. It was like he's really. I mean, if you can come up with that many sexy VHSs.
But it's like if you're avoiding porn for at least 2 scenes in this book, then at least give us a good wedding night.
Because he said
to be like, this is why it was worth it. But it's not. It was just like, my mom is very hot.
If there isn't
even
a wedding
in the
night
afterlife.
pre-sex press, send it back.
They're calling her one of the hottest ghosts that's ever been in this building.
I send it back. There wasn't even like a slapsticky like soot in the face on the wedding night.
No.
I feel like we're going to get another story of his kid.
Oh God, can you imagine? That would be just the worst
And
book.
it would just
be
be
like,
her dating.
it would just be him being like, my dad once wrote a book, and in it this thing happened. Let me tell you about it, and then it'll just be rehashing the book again.
I want to read something else from the Jack Wayland universe. Is there anything that isn't about a boy dating a woman?
There's one about a teen pregnancy.
I
that
do like
read
the
growing
idea
up.
of seeing how Jack writes in a woman's voice, if it's from the perspective of the teen who gets pregnant.
I actually think it's about the boy again dealing with a girl who's.
Does
got
he ever
pregnant.
write as a woman? Like
That
a
would
Steph?
be
Let's have a
interesting.
what's Stephanie?
That's too close to transgenderism. Jack doesn't want to flirt with that.
Hang on. Did someone send us this? Stephanie by Jack Wayland.
Alex is here, woman dating a boy.
Oh my god, that cute picture of Jack.
Oh, Jack!
He looks exactly like.
That's
I expected.
exactly how I imagined him this whole time.
I'm just going to read the summary of Stephanie. Stephanie and Craig began walking slowly back down the trail. Oh, I'll just go down to the bottom. Stephanie Bradshaw leads a double life. Outwardly, she's a fun-loving, vivacious teenager who attends church regularly with her family and seems to be well-adjusted in school and at home. But when she's alone or with her friends, she can't wait for the highs she gets from alcohol and drugs. In Stephanie,
Well, that makes 2 of us.
best-selling author Jack Wayland brings to life a story that is all too real, one that affects the lives of many young people and those who love them. Stephanie and her family, he's giving the plot away in the thing. Stephanie and her family finally come to grips with their problems and learn to trust and communicate with one another. He's literally telling the ending, but only after some very difficult decisions and experiences.
Oh.
Her story is one that every teenager and young adult, every parent and family member, every teacher and youth leader needs to read.
Everyone, huh? It's quite the marketing pitch. I think I must be thinking of a different one. There's one where there's a definitely a teen pregnancy.
Wait, listen to this in the beginning. It's like a foreword. My thanks to the 3 families who have assisted me in the preparation of this book.
3
they
whole
each
families.
have gone through the experience of having a chemically dependent son or daughter. Their combined experiences form the basis of Stephanie. He's writing for the big dogs.
He is. He's doing some research.
Do you
for
think
the
he
first
just
time.
found
Incredible.
these like 3 families in his ward or something, and they're like,
They-
"Well, you are a best-selling author."
They're the ones he knew
But I'm
about,
like-
and he's just like, you know what? I've met so many people in my ward lately.
Imagine trusting Jack Wayland to write the story of your child's drug problem.
Oh God! And I bet at least 2/3 of them just are pot smokers.
Guys, can I just say the first line in the book is, "It was a perfect night for a keg party." So I don't see how we don't read this.
Do we have a kickoff with a keg party?
Yeah, I think we do. So just a standalone book.
Oh my God! You have Stephanie right there. I don't know why that didn't click in my head. I thought that was in the.
Isn't
Adam's
she
book.
gorgeous? But
Oh, someone
inside,
sent
a
us
dark
this, right?
secret. Yeah, it actually looks really good. Wow. Okay, thanks for joining us for 2 hours.
Yeah, this has been a long slog, but a fun one. And I, for one, have been permanently hindered, and all the brain cells that I've lost from this, I don't think I'll ever recover. But it was so fun, and we shared laughs and almost crying there at the end before it all went horseshit south.
Look out, world. What was it? Adam is coming? What was
Adam
it?
is coming.
Here I come. So unmemorable.
Please be here I come.
I am,
I
okay.
am on my
We are
way.
orphans, and now, finally, we're on our way.
Brethren, adieu.